Chapter 10 in White Fragility, Robin DiAngelo really expounds upon white fragility and what she calls the rules of engagement. Throughout her works and through all the seminars she's taught in her corporate experience, even with friends and family, she has found these rules to be true from the standpoint of addressing white fragility. Rule number one: do not give me feedback on my racism under any circumstance. This is similar, in my opinion, to the rule number one of Fight Club. Never mention Fight Club, right? Rule number one: do not give me feedback on my racism as a white person under any circumstance. But if you insist on breaking the cardinal rule, then you must follow these other rules. Rule number two: proper tone is crucial. Feedback must be given calmly. If any emotion is displayed, the feedback is invalid and can be dismissed. There must be trust between us. You must trust that I am in no way racist before you can give me feedback on my racism. Our relationship must be issue-free, because if there are issues between us, you cannot give me feedback on racism until those unrelated issues are resolved. Feedback must be given immediately. If you wait too long, as if there's a statute of limitations, right, on an insult in that regard. If you wait too long, the feedback will be discounted because it was not given sooner. Number six: you must give feedback privately, regardless of whether the incident occurred in front of other people. To give feedback in front of any others who were involved in a situation is to commit a serious social transgression. If you can't protect me from embarrassment, then the feedback is invalid and you are the transgressor. This reminds me of a phrase that's used currently that I think is actually very accurate. And, if you give an apology to somebody, your apology needs to be just as loud as a disrespect. We got to bring balance to the universe in that way. Number seven: you must be as indirect as possible. Directness is insensitive and will invalidate the feedback and require repair. Number eight: as a white person, I feel completely safe under during any discussion of race. I have to feel completely safe under any discussion of race. And suggesting that I have racist assumptions or patterns will cause me to feel unsafe. So you will need to build my trust by never giving me feedback again. Point of clarification: when I say safe, this is according to DiAngelo. When I say safe, I really mean comfortable. Number nine: highlighting my racist privilege. And my racial privilege invalidates the form of oppression that I experience. And that's whether it's classism, sexism, heterosexism, ageism, ableism, transphobia. We would then need to turn our attention on how you oppress me. In the middle of conversation and addressing these things, she's seen that individuals might stop and say, well, no, I'm a woman. Let's talk about, feminism. Let's talk about the discrimination that I experience as a female, or I'm advanced in age, or let's talk about that discrimination instead, since you want to talk so much about anyone being insulted. And surely I wouldn't insult anybody because I'm discriminated against myself. And number 11: to suggest that my behavior had racist impact is to have misunderstood me, which means that you need to give me the opportunity to explain myself until you are convinced that what I said was just a misunderstanding. And then you have to drop it. Those are the rules of engagement that Robin DiAngelo gave in chapter 10. And I've seen those play out in many forms in conversation around race and racism. And even in this tumultuous time that we're living through, it's immensely important that we consider those rules, from both sides. And once again, I'm really grateful that Robin DiAngelo created this work, right, for white fragility, because she effectively gives voice. She uses her privilege to give voice to individuals who might otherwise be disdained or otherwise cast aside or ignored because they don't follow the rules of engagement, especially number one: do not give me feedback about my racism under any circumstances. Thank you so much for your time. That's chapter 10 of White Fragility.